Live from Dark Easy Studios in Eddyville, Kentucky. It's time for another episode of the Dark Easy Evolution Survivor Strategy. Tonight, we're breaking down this Exile Island system. We'll be breaking down all kinds of things. So Carrie Easy's amazing Unity run to Cirie's clever gameplay. And all that and more on this episode of the Evolution of Survivor Strategy. Now your host, Hello, Easy Nation. Welcome to another episode of Darth Easy's Evolution of Survivor Strategy. I hope everyone's doing well in this world we're doing right now. And we are on the 12th chapter of the Evolution of Survivor Strategy. I believe I'm going to name this episode Chapter 12, Rivalry, Super Idol, and Clever Cirie. So, alright, so let's get right into it, this episode. So, Exile Island is always one of those seasons that I think it's one of the most underrated seasons of Survivor. And the show has so many good things going for it. There's a lot of good twists that happen. There's a lot of good gameplay that happen. And so, yeah, let's talk about it. So this season, we have 16 people. And then for the first time in Survivor history, we are divided up into 4 tribes. All divided into four tribes. Divided between sex and age. So you have the older women tribe, the younger women tribe, the older male tribe, and the younger male tribe. And so, you know, the first part of the show, but then we also introduced this new twist called Exile Island. And Exile Island, we first saw Exile Island in Survivor Palau, where Janu was the first person eliminated of the immunity challenge, and she was sent to live on Exile Island for the day. So they turned that into a whole new twist, where basically one person has to go to Exile Island. They have to live there until the next challenge, completely cut off from the rest of their tribe. And so it kind of brought this kind of social dynamic to the game, where if you want to weaken somebody, you send them to Exile Island, and that makes their tribe weaker. Interesting twist. But then there's another part of Exile Island which is very clever. And they reintroduced the immunity idol. The immunity idol, which we introduced for the first time in Survivor Guatemala. Now, that was the weakest version of the immunity idol, and this is the most powerful version of the immunity idol. And this is what I will refer to as the super idol. The super idol means that if you are voted out of the game and you have the immunity idol, the person with the next highest amount of votes is voted out. And it can be used up to the final 4. So it's even more powerful than what another idol would be eventually. So yeah, it's what I like to call the super idol. So those are the 2 big twists. Those are like the 3 big twists of the season. And so, you know, let's get like into the first episode. We see the older women, they lose that first immunity challenge. And Tina, you know, she's the strongest of the tribe. And Cirie, she doesn't want to be the first one voted out. She's like, I can't go back home to my family knowing that I was the first person voted out. If I can make it past the first vote, I'd be good. And so Cirie is one of the greatest game players who's never won the game. And I'll talk about her in about 4 episodes, including this one, how good she is. But she's just so good at planting seeds and playing that social game and turning it on Tina. You really see early form Cirie really well in this first vote out. And so they get rid of Tina. Well, then we get a little tribe mix-up. Basically, the 4 tribes become 2 tribes. And Cirie is at the bottom of the pecking order. Her and Melanie, or Melissa, I think it's Melanie. They're looking at them 2 as the weakest members, and they're probably going to be voted out pretty quickly. But Cirie keeps her head low. She plays that great social game and makes her so important to the vote that they don't want to get rid of her. And after that, she doesn't really face tribal council for a while, because Kasaya, which is, you know, one of the most dysfunctional tribes of all time, and you have like characters like Courtney and Shade who are just hilarious to watch on a TV screen. But Lamina goes on his immunity loss, and then they send Terry to Exile Island. He was kind of the leader of the tribe, and that Lamine was kind of falling apart without him. But he finds the immunity idol. And I'll get more back into that in a little bit. So basically, Lamina gets decimated to the final basically, when we get to the merge, there is 4 members of Illumia left. Kasaya loses 1 more immunity, and this was a very interesting moment for Danielle, because Danielle starts to shows up because she's like, I don't want to get rid of Bobby. I don't trust him. I trust Bruce. Me and him have this certain bond, so I want to take out Bob, knowing that I have a better bond with Bruce. And she was able to turn that on Aris and Shane and all of them, and got rid of that person. So it was a very interesting episode of Survivor. All right, so we get to the merge, and Kasaya is up 6-4. So 6-4, you do what you do. You get your numbers, you completely write it out. And poor Terry, man. I mean, Terry tried his butt off to get somebody to turn. And you can say, like, Terry is probably was probably the first person in Survivor history to never vote someone out in the merge, which made him such a huge jury threat. I'll talk about that in a minute. So Terry, he wins 5 immunities. He has the immunity idol. So Terry has to win these competitions because he has one basically kind of armor to protect him. And the reason why the winner of the game wins is because Terry doesn't lose immunity till the final 4. By then, everyone knows that he has it, and they're not going to take the chance. So they're going to vote out. They're going to turn on each other. So the game gets really interesting at the final 6. Bruce gets medevaced, very sad moment. But at final 6, the Kasaya alliance basically falls apart a little bit because Terry wins that immunity. So now the Kasaya have to eat each other. Courtney wants to make an alliance with her, Terry, and Danielle. And everyone wants to take Courtney to the finals because in the episode before, she was considered the most unpopular person. No one liked her, blah, blah, blah. And so people like Shane realize, I could beat her. She might be the only person I can beat. And so Cirie does the most brilliant thing of the season, really, realizing someone who wants them to go to the finals is a huge threat, because that means they don't want to take me to the finals, which means I need to take that person out. And so Cirie it was so clever of how Cirie did it, because it goes into a 3-2-1 split, because Shane thinks the vote's going on Danielle. And Terry votes out Aris because he wants Aris out. And then he gets Aris, Danielle, and Cirie vote out Courtney. So it becomes a 3-2-1. And it's fascinating how it happened. And it just shows how great of a game player and how much of a social threat Cirie really is. And then, we get to the final 5. Shane gets voted out. Great line at the end when he gets voted out. He's like, oh my God, I'm going to eat a chocolate ice cream bar in 1 minute. 1 minute. And it's just, Shane, hilarious. One of the funniest Survivor characters we have ever seen. Want to see Shane come back. Hopefully, in the next 5-10 seasons, we get to see another Shane season, because Shane is hilarious. He's been asked back twice, kinda. He was originally supposed to be in Heroes vs. Villains, but Russell Hantz happened. And then he was supposed to be in Survivor Second Chance. Didn't make the cut because it was America's vote. So I was a little sad not seeing Shane in that season. So yeah, we get to the Final 4, and Aris wins that Final 4 immunity. And just such a great rivalry between Aris and Terry. Because, Aris realized he has to fight his butt off to win those immunities. Because if he does not win and Terry doesn't win, Terry is voting out Aris. Because the only person Terry ever voted for from Final 9 all the way up to Final 5 was Aris. So, and, we don't have the idea of splitting votes yet. So, Aris, if Aris doesn't win immunity, if he doesn't beat Terry, and the immunity idol is played, he's going home. So, Aris, really played a very good game, because he had to play very competitively, because he was the only person who could really compete with Terry physically. Yeah, so we get to the Final 4, and like I said, Aris wins that final four reward challenge and take Cirie with him to the reward challenge. And so they have to send Danielle and Terry to Exile Island. And Danielle realizes that Aris or Cirie, they're not gonna turn on each other. And realizes she has to make a deal with Terry in order to make it to the final three. So their whole plan is Terry wins that final four immunity. Then Terry gives the immunity idol to Danielle. They vote out Aris, and Aris goes once the idol is played. Yeah, realizing that Danielle is the bottom of the pecking order, she makes a deal with Terry that if she wins that, help her get to the final three, and she will help Terry get to the final two. So, so basically Aris wins that final four immunity, which kind of messes up their plan to vote out Aris. So it goes to a final four fire making challenge, which, Danielle was trying to pressure Terry to give him her immunity idol. And I do think if Terry had given Danielle that idol, that Danielle probably would have taken Terry to the finals. And, Danielle wins. Just a great story by Cirie. I mean, we'll see her again in Micronesia. Will be the next time I talk about Cirie. But Cirie played a very good game. And, I think Terry should have taken out Danielle, because he probably had a better chance of beating Cirie than he did Danielle. But he hadn't been able to work with anybody, and he finally gets to work with somebody. It just doesn't work out well in his favor. So we get to the final three. Danielle wins that final three immunity, and she thinks, she's like, I can't take Terry to the finals. I have a worse shot of beating Terry than I do of beating Aris. So, I think she knows she is going to lose regardless, because I think Danielle played a better game than Aris. I really do believe that. I think Danielle made some more moves than Aris did. Aris and Cirie were kind of interchangeable at times, where I think Cirie really came up with the strategies that Aris followed, and Aris was kind of the scapegoat for Cirie. But Danielle, she took out Bruce, I think, or she took out Bob, and I do think that was a big move on her part. But she was also blamed for the, turning her back on Terry, turning her back on Courtney, and those are some ill feelings, and that's probably what cost her the game, to be honest with you. And so, the final tribal council, Aris wins 5-2. Aris played a good game. It sounds like I'm maybe saying, oh God, Aris, what a horrible player. But no, Aris played a good game. It's not like he played a bad game, and really, this was a good season. I think Exile Island, I said this at the beginning of the episode, and I'll say it again, that I think that Exile Island is one of the most underrated Survivor seasons. It's very fun. It's got some great characters. I mean, Courtney, crazy. Shane, absolutely hilarious. We had the Blackberry. There's Vacancy. I love Shane, and then some good game players with Aris and Cirie, Danielle, and also great fun character of Terry, who wins those immunity challenges. Yeah, Exile Island, very underrated, and it's a good season of Survivor, especially for Survivor Strategy, because we brought in the immunity idol, which, we see more of as the show goes along. Alright guys, that ends this chapter of the Darth Feezy's Evolution of Survivor Strategy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. My next episode will be Survivor Cook Islands, which I'm really looking forward to watching, because I really love that season. Alright guys, make sure you check out that, click that like button, subscribe to see more, and make sure you check out my other podcasts on this channel. Also, make sure you check out my other YouTube channel, the Darth Feezy. I've been posting my top 100 movies. I just posted, as I'm talking about this, my top 50 through 46 movies. What movies are those going to be? Check it out now, and you can find out. And guys, until next time, all too easy.